Okay, so I've been thinking about doing this, and I just never have. This is something that was explained to me during the group therapy thing, and it's really hard to put into words, so I thought I'd try to do some sort of video to show everyone kind of the concept that I learned. Okay, so over here we've got, oops, finger, very depressed. Okay, baseline, which is like neutral, you know, I hate to use the word normal, but so baseline. And then there's like super manic. Okay, so what was explained to me is that, say you're at baseline and then you get depressed, and just a little bit depressed. We'll say you're here. So you go here, and then you've got to go back to baseline. And the next time you get depressed, a little bit more. So see how it takes longer to get back to baseline. Okay? So each time that you get depressed, you see, it's taking longer and longer to get back to baseline. Now, what really made me interested in this concept is the baseline itself. I believe that baseline can move and that you can be, I think I was more about here, about the time that I went into the hospital just recently. Okay, so think about it. All it is a short trip from this new baseline to very depressed. Okay? Now, on the other side of the spectrum, I believe that when I was younger, I was closer to manic. Anybody that knows me knows that I was very hyperactive. I did have bouts of depression, but if you think about it, okay, they were little. Okay, I didn't have any real bad depression until maybe 8th grade or so. But before that, I was almost pretty much manic all the time. I mean, I drove people crazy because I was so hyper all the time. So I believe I was here in this general area, um, in my early teens and stuff. But then as I got older and kept getting more and more depressed, my baseline, that when they talk about it at like therapy, they talk about it as like a midline, but I think that it moved. And I talked to the psychiatrist about it, and he said that that made sense to him. Now, I really thought about this a lot, and I came up with some more um, insight onto this. Okay, so now, in addition to the whole depressed and manic type thing, we've also got anxiety. So we'll call low anxiety just, what you would consider somebody being shy. We're talking about social anxiety here. Okay. So when I was younger, I would consider myself, shy. But as I got older, I got more and more and more to the high anxiety. But I believe there's a direct correlation between this and this between the anxiety factor and the depression factor. There's also one more that I came up with. Alright. So, we are going from low, high. Alright. So, as my anxiety got worse, my depression got worse, my self-esteem completely tanked. So about the time that I recently checked myself into the hospital, I would say I was super depressed. High anxiety. And low self-esteem. I believe all three of these kind of feed off of one another. You know, the worse your anxiety is, the quicker you get depressed, the lower your self-esteem is, or, you know, the lower your self-esteem is, the faster you get depressed. And I've found that my anxiety, at least my social anxiety, is much worse when I'm depressed. It's almost non-existent when I'm in the manic stage. I don't think personally I've ever been really super manic, but so that's my little concept, and I hope that you enjoyed the video, and I hope I didn't mess it up too much.